Hey guys, Jason back for another statue review. It's been a while. Obviously, a lot of things changing. I'll talk about it a little bit later, but exciting times for me. But obviously I've taken a bit of a hiatus from doing reviews, so it's nice to be back. Today I'm reviewing a statue that came in during my big move into my new place, and that is the XM Studios Professor Xavier, version B, the one on the hoverchair. There is a version A where he's on the more traditional wheelchair, but I went for the one that kind of hit the nostalgia button for me growing up with the 80s cartoon, or 90s cartoon I should say. So this is the Professor X from XM Studios, version B. Let's open the box and put them together. All right, guys, so we got everything out of the box now. Let's put it all together and see how it looks. I don't think it's going to be that complicated. It looks like most of the pieces are fairly intuitive in terms of like where they go. So I'm not going to look at the instruction manual. We're just going to try and figure this out together, okay? So as usual, guys, inside the shipper box, before you open the art box, it's not really an art box with XM. They're all those kind of black boxes, but you get two things. You get this assemblage booklet, which really isn't an assembly booklet anymore. It's just, you know, you can scan this code and then you can get to the video on YouTube. And then the package contents. This is always handy. It's nice when you're putting more complex statues back in the box. This is not a complex statue, but it's still nice to have. And then what we all care about in these packages is the art print. This art print is okay. I'm not usually critical of art prints because usually it's kind of just an interesting take on the statue itself. But I think this is a little bit uninteresting. I think there are more interesting ways that Professor X could have been framed. I think him looking towards the camera, so to speak, could have made this more interesting. I just think it's kind of a boring shot of him. Even if I was going to keep him, I wouldn't display this with him. Just my opinion. So here's the base. Pretty straightforward. Kind of a cool base. It's got that sort of honeycomb bottom to it, if you can see that there. Yeah, metallic. Looks nice. All right, now let's put Professor X's bike on here. Holy cow, it's heavy. I hope this doesn't break my little flimsy table here. But I think it's pretty clear that it just goes in like that. I have a feeling there was a little clear thing, and I think it's probably supposed to go under here to hold that front up. I hope that doesn't break while I'm getting it. This thing here goes down here. Maybe I should have used the instructions after all. Fuck, I don't actually know now. Okay, so I put that little see-through bit here to hold the front up. I think that's what it's there for. I'm not sure. We'll find out. Anyways, let's get the rest of his body together. Okay, so here's the little console piece. It looks like it goes on here. I'll just show you guys. Which looks like it goes right here. That slides on there. Looks good. A couple of the hands. Looks like there are some swap outs, but we'll use these two first. His left hand holding the chair, his right hand holding the chair. Okay. Yeah, that's looking good so far. Now there are two portraits here. Oh, this one looks broken. Is this broken? Is that how it's supposed to be? Oh, it looks like this is either broken or it's just slipped out of the... Oh no, it looks like it's just slipped out of here. Maybe it just came unglued. I can't tell. I'm not sure if you can see that, but this is supposed to be attached in here. Anyways, a little bit of glue. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I think it just slipped out. So we'll put that on his head. And then these pieces go into these little holes here. Okay, into his chair. And you can, these are sort of bendable, so you can put these however you like. That's it. That is Professor X. I mean, my first impressions are, he looks nice. He's just a little, there's only so much you can do with the Professor X, you know? It's tough because he's in a wheelchair, which takes up a big part of the real estate of this statue, you know, is the wheelchair. It's the, and even though this is a hover chair and it's interesting, it's a lot of solid colors. Now they tried to make it as interesting as possible. They've added some different tones and different types of golds in here, as you can see, but not the most interesting X-Men statue that I have. Looks like he's well executed, but it is what it is. It's a Professor X statue. Okay, I'm going to get the swap outs. I'll swap those in, and then I'll do a full review of the statue after I've had a little bit of time to digest this. All right, guys, so I have looked at it a little bit more now. I swapped out, as you can see, I swapped out the two arms. This is the second version of what he can look like. The funny thing is, I was expecting, I thought, maybe I'm misremembering, but I thought that one of the portraits was a Cerebro-less head, just a bald head. Maybe I'm misunderstanding or misremembering, but it looks like both his heads, both his portraits are the Cerebro head. The only difference is when I put this one in, his finger was right in his eye. So I guess his head is looking in two different directions, but they're literally identical faces, except for just the turn of the head, which seems a bit strange for me for a swap out. I got to look into that again. Again, I could have sworn that one of the swap outs was a Cerebro-less head. Anyways, okay, so let's get into the statue. Like I said before, it's not the most impressive X-Men piece. I don't know if it's just because of the nature of the character, or just the way it was executed. I think it's got to be the nature of the character, because execution is nice. Like I said, I mean, they've tried to take what's a relatively uninteresting thing, this hover chair that he has, and I don't know if you guys remember from the cartoons and usually from the comics as well, but it was usually just kind of a flat yellow. In fact, I can compare it to the Iron Studios version of him here that I took from the diorama. I have him as a standalone piece that goes with it, and you can see that it's much more uniform in its color, and that's okay, of course, because it's much smaller, so it works, and you can see that there's a lot more happening in his base, so it all kind of fits in. But with a statue this size, I don't think that would have worked. So they've tried to add some different colors. You know, there's a lighter gold, there's a deeper gold. You know, there's a few more other shades in here. These lights, I know, because I've seen pictures of it, I know they light up. I think that there's batteries that go in there somewhere. I haven't found out how to do that yet, and I'm pretty sure I don't have the batteries for it. So that's why that's not lit up. But I'm sure that will bring some interest to it as well. But I'm just not wowed by this piece, if I'm being honest. There are individual details that are really nice. The hands are beautiful. You can see the veins in his hands, and like the poses of his hands. The one going up to the temple is very nice. Has nice sort of arcs in the fingers, and the hand kind of going out, you know, projecting his telekinetic powers. Is it telekinesis? Telekinesis. Which is the one where you can read minds, and which is the one where you can telekinetic is moving things. That's moving. Yeah. What is the one where you can? Telepathic. Yeah. Telepathic. Thank you to my cameraman, my lovely cameraman over here, who is helping me with my review. Telepathic powers. He's kind of projecting them out. You know, the screen in here in the console looks nice. There are some paint. You know, because there's a giant mass here with very fine separation between each of the parts. There are some paint areas that are not fantastic. I'm not sure if you can see that here, but it's just not painted perfect. Here again, there's some paint issues along here. On him, generally speaking, he looks really good. There's some nice texture in his suit. gradation in his sort of vest under the jacket looks nice. The helmet looks good. His portrait looks good. The base looks okay. It's just, listen, it's not a bad Professor X statue. It's just, it'll get lost in a collection. If I was keeping 1/4 scale X-Men statues, if that was my collection and I was still kind of going for it, it's a must-have. It is the best 1/4 Professor X that I'm aware of. So you need to have them in your collection if you're doing an X-Men line. But because I have the dioramas now, and I'm only kind of keeping the 1/4 pieces that I really love, this guy is not staying in my collection. He's just not interesting enough to hold a place in a limited space collection. So it's unfortunate, but it's also, I suppose, the nature of things. Before I opened this, I wasn't expecting him to be a standout piece. So he's good, just not my favorite. If I were going to rate this, I know I don't usually rate the statues, but if I were going to rate it, I would probably give it a solid 6.8. I don't even think it's quite 7 compared to a lot of the other XM Studio pieces, but it's also not, it's not like a 6 or a 6.5 even. So maybe it's a weird rating, but I give it a 6.8. Okay, guys, so that's the review. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, a little bit of a different environment here. I'm in a new place now, finally, thank God, after 2 months of hell, moving all of my statues and all of my collections into this new place. So we're gonna try some different environments for the videos. This is sort of my 80s nostalgia room. When I do a house tour, you guys will get to see more of it. But we'll try one here, we'll try one in one of my statue rooms, and see what we like. And you guys are welcome to comment in the comments and let me know what you think of the new environment as well. So as always, guys, please like and subscribe. I believe down here somewhere will be the buttons. And until next time, later.